Dialed in to Box and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use,
smarts of these studs.
because they know the brews.
And they know the box. And they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, because shit's not funny.
And save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks.
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks and brews.
brews.
Bucks and Brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews. Nick,
David,
we went off the rails last time.
a little bit.
You didn't. I did. So we had a drink and draw a little over a week ago. It was great. We had a lot of great drawings. I had all three of my drinks in an hour.
Yeah,
I don't remember a lot of it. I will not be drinking for the rest of the year.
there you go.
I'm gonna save that liver a little bit. Try to be a little more responsible. It was great too because my wife and my best friend laughed at me when I said that, and I wanted to kick them both right in the face.
I remember that text, and it's hard because coming from another person who drinks like you do. I mean, granted, I drink more than you, but I handle it a hell of a lot
Yeah.
better than you do.
I don't handle it as well anymore.
It's a good night when David starts out with an 18% and it's just gone in seconds, and you're like, that's not going to go well.
Nope, and it did not.
But myself, though, I'm sponsored by Jack Razor,
Yes, you
our
are.
artist friend, which I completed my challenge. I did no beer all of November. It was strictly liquor. This is actually my first beer. I told myself I was going to wait to have a Christmastown Ale to be my first beer.
You
So I'm
should
having
make sure Jack Razor knows that.
I'm having Christmastown Ale from Frankenmuth Brewing. If you've never had it, I've had it here on our old episodes. If you go back and look, because Jack Razor was so surprised that I was
Yeah.
drinking it in bottles. He's like, bottles, what? Because I was so surprised it was in cans. And it was like, dude, you just found, because I can't find it anywhere because I've always been
You've
looking
been
for
looking for
bottles.
bottles, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm very excited. I'm gonna shut up now and drink this. Introduce our guest, Gary.
So we're joined by Nick's friend Gary. Gary, I don't know your last name because Nick didn't tell me. So I'll kind of let you introduce yourself. You can tell us if you're drinking anything.
I'm Gary Hall. I'm not drinking anything at the moment. I just had surgery about a month ago, so I'm, had some good drugs for a little bit, but I'm clean and sober right now.
There you go. Good for you.
I have Starburst sparkling ice, orange.
The orange flavor. That's
I got strawberry and cherry in the freezer.
those are the good flavors. Red and pink.
Well, I have to stick with water for a while here
Oh, that's right, because you have
because my drunk best friend is visiting again.
yeah.
So Gary, when you get old like me, sometimes you have a drunk best friend that comes to visit you. You ever have a friend that was drunk and he needs help to the bathroom and you're like, yeah, here, you're in the bathroom now, go to the bathroom. And he's like, yeah, I need you to take me. That's what it's like when your prostate starts acting up, is it says, hey, it's time to go to the bathroom. And then you go and you stand there, nothing fucking happens. And you just argue with yourself.
Come on, big guy, you got this. We've all
Big
You
had
can
times.
do it.
Who's the big guy?
Say.
So you can't
Self-efficacy.
have alcohol with that. I mean, it didn't stop me because I've had it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You can't have alcohol, you can't have pop, you can't have carbonation, you can't have caffeine.
Oh, carbonation. Carbonation. Good job with the sparkling.
I mean, it doesn't have that much carbonation.
All right.
I don't have cold water downstairs because the water machine took a shit. Which is why I'm drinking these, because I have packets that I put in my water to make them, taste different.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a whole thing. We did a show,
On.
like a sales show.
Oh, we did. Yeah. See, Black Friday, David and I went to a local gaming place. Most of my stuff is Dice Towers, Magic the Gathering related things, D&D related things.
I don't really have a lot.
Right.
And you were like, you need to start printing because we're going to do a whole table.
Yep.
So we did a whole table.
Yep.
I thought we had a great setup.
I got fortunate because your boss decided that she wanted one of my products instead of yours.
Yes.
As she's seen it. So I sold one thing there, and then I sold one other item to another person, and the entire 4 or 5 hours that we were there. That's what I sold. You had your lowest show yet?
Yep. No, I think it beat Byron Con
Did it?
barely.
But So it was disheartening for me because like, right, I've been planning for this and hope, because like, I brought the material that people would want to buy. Everybody
Yep.
else around us, all the other 7 tables that had sold spots or whatever, was all board games, right? Used board games, people selling their old stuff. I even made fun of one of them because I was like, I hate that game, and it sold like within 2 seconds of their opening. But we sold nothing to the people that would normally be the buyers of this, right? So
it was disheartening.
yeah,
That's
very
a
much. Yeah.
good word.
My favorite thing was I come back from the restroom, you're like, Nick, how much are dice today? I said, $5, right? For a bag of 7 set of dice, which they have on sale for $13 on their shelf. Like $5, I gotta get rid of them, right?
Mhm.
Pat them. And this girl goes, I don't really know. Blah, blah. And then goes and buys a set of dice from over there. I own like every set you can kind of imagine. You used to dig through and figure out what you want. And yeah, like watching that, it was just like, okay.
Paid $7 more for their dice.
So,
Mind you, usually you sell your dice for $8.
yeah.
It's like still $5 cheaper than they had it.
Yeah. So it's crazy.
It was disappointing.
So, Gary and I, we've known each other for quite a while. Let's say we're both in real estate. Gary's a real estate investor himself, and then actually does way more in real estate than I do, and puts his fingers into every little piece of any pie he could ever imagine. So
That sounds a little dirty.
into pies? No, it's okay. This is an American pie, right?
Okay.
This is fingers. So, Gary, walk me through a little bit about what you do and where you're headed now, what your big dreams and aspirations are.
I like to think of myself as an entrepreneur. I like building the systems and looking at, how things work, which is why I get sidetracked by all the different types of real estate that are out there. I run a property management company in Muskegon, Michigan. We've got properties from Detroit through Muskegon, but we focus on the west side of Michigan. I've got a handyman company because as a property manager, I don't think property managers should have, and this is a personal opinion, other people have different opinions, but I don't like it when they have in-house maintenance. You might be able to save $1 or $2 here or there, but unless the people are super ethical, the incentives aren't quite aligned. As a property manager, your job is supposed to be on the other side of the table as the vendors. But one of the benefits of having a maintenance in house is you can tell them what to do and how to do it. So we've got about 50 different vendors that we work with all the time. I couldn't get some of the vendors to do the reporting the way I wanted it to, so I started my own handyman company. Because then I could tell them exactly how to do it and what to do with it. Hired a general manager, so there's arm's length transactions when they work for us. But they, at this point, only do about 20% of the work is actually for us. The rest of it's, to retail customers or other property management companies. I think they work with almost every property management company in the area. So I started that business. I invest in single family, multifamily. I did Airbnb for a while. Sort of got out of that. My last piece that I have is a motel that I've got right now up in Whitehall. It's a cute little place. It's an old 1940s motel. Barely anyone can fit in it. Used to be the crack den that everyone was afraid of. Now it's one of the nicest places in the city, which is nice. And that's really fun. And currently, doing all of this, I've always wanted to be a little contrarian. I'm not Robert Kiyosaki and I'm not Dave Ramsey. I want to use other people's money and I don't want to have debt. So I've been raising funds this entire time, pooling other people's money together to invest in these deals. So I run a couple syndications. And then the most recent one that I've been working on is primarily focused in hard money lending. And because of hard money lending, I like building systems. And in the hard money lending niche, there's not a good software in property management, in in most real estate, in handyman work and whatnot. There's a whole bunch of software products out there that can run your whole business for you. That doesn't exist in the financing sector. So I've also gotten into AI a lot lately as I'm building my own software to help other people manage hard money lending.
Oh,
So a
that's
little
great.
bit of everything.
Say a lot of everything. I mean, you're one of the few people it's weird because I don't call you because I know how busy you are, and I think you always say, "Oh, you're always welcome to call." And we actually I used to call you when I was working for property management, because I'd be out there, and then you would just never answer the phone because I was either giving you or taking. You would call me, or I would call you, figuring out, hey, what this tenant, how crappy they are, and we'd share our fun stories about it. Oh, good luck with that one. Um, or hey, I'm in town dropping off keys. I'll just give them to the secretary. I'm not in right now because Gary's never in. Right? That's the number one rule is Gary's never in. So say people should
Sure.
never know who he is. Um, but so systems, right? Like my brain is very slow at getting a system into place. And also I'm very broken with my system, right? So for listeners that don't know, right? I mean, rent is due on the first, right? Most of us, most people have a 2 to 4 day grace period, right? So having it due on the third or the fifth, that's kind of normal
Mhm.
in our thing. So, me, it took me forever. Like even right now, I'm failing at it, right? I have a tenant who's not paying me. He paid me the little part, but I still should be sending a 7 day, right? Going, hey, yeah, it's no big deal, but the 7 day should go out. And so a system would be able to put that kind of into place, saying this. So how do I get better at a system? Walk me through a system that I could do. Share some knowledge with us on this because you're 100 times better at a system, and this is why you've grown 500 times faster than me because I'm just old and lazy looking for the needle in the haystack and do ones. So
And the biggest reason why I think I'm so systems oriented is because I'm so bad at doing the busy work myself.
right.
I'm so bad at it that I know if there's not something in place, I'm going to fail. I'm going to forget. I'm not going to do it. Um, and because of that, I look for things that can automate as much as possible. So it depends on how big you are, how you want to run it. But there's usually a tool out there in most industries. Someone has had this problem before. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. There is a tool out there. Now, what that'll force you to do is change how you're doing things to how that tool functions. And so you got to be a little flexible. Landlords as a whole tend to be the throw caution in the wind, I want to do it my way type people. Uh,
No,
no, none of them.
no, we don't own our
None of
fucking
them.
business. Come on, this is a
They're like, I'm just going to do it the way I've done it because that's the way I do it.
yeah.
But if you're willing to make a little bit of those adjustments and changes, there's a lot of software tools that are out there. So, for an example, on personal pieces, there's a Microsoft To Do. It's a really simple system. It's literally just a to-do list that lets you create recurring to-dos, and it syncs with your phone, your laptop, your computer, anywhere you're at, so that everywhere you're at, you have the same to-do list. And every day you can create what's on your to-do list. You can move it around. You can mark things off, and when you mark something off, it has a little ding, and you get that Pavlovian, um, you know, dogs whistle. You get so
Attaboy.
excited. There's nothing more exciting than checking something off because I get a little ding, so you get that gamification going on there. So little pieces like that of if I've got something I need to do, I have to put it on my to-do list. And then every morning when I get in, I order my to-do list based off of most important to least important because what people don't realize is most people don't have to-do lists, they have wish lists, and
Sure.
their wish list is 4 or 5 days worth of work. And so then at the end of the day, they feel defeated because they haven't accomplished or done anything. Um, so the goal is putting on everything from important to least important, and usually the thing you don't want to do is the most important piece. And then the other thing I do is I have alarms on my phone that tell me to switch tasks at certain points throughout the day. Because it's
Oh
super
wow.
easy to get lost in a project or more likely something that's, you get into your email and you're in your inbox for hours, and you'll just get lost. So I've got certain times of the day, different just alarms that come off that says, "Hey, you need to be working on this now." So switch the task. So I point out and say, from 9 o'clock till 1 o'clock, I'm working on this type of thing, and then from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, I work on this type of thing, and then at 4 o'clock, I check my emails, as an example. So I get those alarms that come up. And then for the different businesses that I've started, when I'm starting a business, one of the first things I do after I've proven that there's money to be made there is I look for what software exists to run that business. Property management is the bane of every real estate investor in existence. And
Yeah.
because of that, there are hundreds of tools out there that will manage this stuff for you. Everyone does most of the same stuff. I prefer all-in-one solutions versus getting a whole bunch of different pieces together. But there's a software that will literally hold your hand through every single process. And if you'll find that and just start using it for your business, it takes care of everything. I've got one that I like is Appfolio.
Sure.
Appfolio is you have to have 50 properties for them to talk to you, or tell them you have 50 properties. And then once you're in, who cares? But they have a minimum of $200 a month is their price. But for $200 a month, you're saving, the software itself does the work of 2 or 3 employees. At that point, you can have a software that literally it says when rent is due. It charges the late fees. It tells you on the to-do list, hey, today is your day to send out 7-day notices. It will fill out those 7-day notices. You still have to go in there, push the button, and
Push send.
have it print it out and mail them and whatnot. So there is some work, but it's at least telling you what you should be doing and when, and then it's keeping track of all those things. All businesses do that. My handyman business, it has a feature where at the end of every single visit, it immediately asks them for a review. So you're getting real-time information on whether your employees are doing a good job. And if they give you a 4 or 5-star review, it forwards it on to Google. And so you can boost your reviews and make sure you're getting good reviews. Because most people only review negatively. You have to prompt them to review if they've had a positive reaction.
Okay.
So there's little things like that. Those pieces that make big impacts on your business that you would never do because we're all bad at, or not all of us. I've got some employees that are amazing people and way better than I am at following systems and doing things on a daily basis. But I am so bad at doing that day-to-day stuff. I have to make a system.
Yeah, and I say, it's horrible. I'm so bad at it. I haven't even started to try to make a system, right? Everybody asks, "Oh, what system do you
When we
use?"
first met, you didn't have a business set up yet for your real estate.
Right. Actually, that's true. It's funny. I was gonna give you a call because I want another LLC, and so I was just gonna. Is it Sarah?
Sarah's the one who did it last time. She's gone. She moved on to another business. But just let me know. I'll help you walk through it. It's even easier than it was before. They've gone
Yeah, like
electronic now.
it's funny. We talked about starting a business here, and I've walked everybody through like all these things, and and I even said on the air, I was like, I just had a buddy through my LLC. Like, it's just like, here, Sarah. And Sarah, like, we're talking on the phone, and she's like, all right, what do you want your LLC to be? And I was like, I don't know, Nick Watkins LLC. She goes, cool, it's in. And so now it's like, I tell people, oh, it's Nick Watkins LLC. And they're like, wow, that's real generic. And I was like, I don't know. I hopped on a phone call. This chick just asked. And I was like, fuck, I don't know, right? Like, I don't sit here and think, I said my buddy has one, Porchlight Properties, right? And all these types of things. And
Can I tangent?
yeah, go ahead.
What the fuck would we be called if I hadn't named us?
Podcast?
No, it'd be Nick Watkins podcast.
Oh, Nick and David podcast. Absolutely, right? There's a chance I would have made initials, right?
Oh my.
Yeah, like there's a chance I would have been like, you want to do N&D podcast? Two drunk idiots? I don't know. Like, it's just fucking hilarious to me. So
As a property manager or as a property owner, the only time you're LLC is normally spoken of is actually in court. So I want to create a couple LLCs. There are things like the tenant is wrong LLC
Yes, that'll go
or something like
great
that. So that the judge has to, on the stand, state that the tenant is wrong.
versus. Yes. Oh my God, because Muskegon would go so great for that, right?
Or the tenant is lying versus, tenant's name. Yeah.
My favorite one was out in Muskegon. It's one of my favorite. I've had a million great ones, but I'm out in Muskegon, and the tenant says, "Oh, there's a big ass hole in the wall because the walls are soft." Excuse me? Yeah, you push on it and it's got some give. And I was like, I mean, you have 18 inches between studs, so yeah, I guess if you're pushing in the middle, drywall will give way. Also, if you throw a human fucking body through it, it's going to break. It's not like, and the judge just starts laughing, and I was like, Your Honor, she's like, I documented it on my move-in check sheet. I'm looking at the check sheet, and I was like, Your Honor, there's nothing about soft walls here, nothing about crumbling, nothing about anything. Um, so if she documented it, it's not with the one that she submitted to us. And she looks and she's like, and I was like, no, this is gonna be fucking great for me, right?
Nick,
Um,
tell the truth. You cheaped out and bought the soft drywall.
I did actually. Yeah, it wasn't even my house. I was working for somebody else, and it was just amazing to me, right? Like I say you can clearly see like this human silhouette, right? Like I grabbed this photo and I'm just like, Your Honor, I'm telling you, I don't know what went through it, but if you ask me, that looks the shape of a head, that looks the shape of a body. I'm not clear. I've only been thrown through some drywall twice in my life. Once as a child, once as a grown man. One of them was fun, one of them was not. And that looks like something I've seen before. And the judge he's looking at me like, what the fuck are you telling me? Why are you telling me about your childhood, right? And I was like, yeah, so we won that one. But like some of the other stuff, and like, oh, the vents on the floor, those were loose. You could just move them out of the way. And I'm like, there's two screw holes right there, and one of them has a screw. Like in the photo, you can see it's ripped off of my soft drywall, right? That's why it ripped.
Did you say soft drywall?
I did.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'll say, but I was like, ma'am, I'm not here to argue with you, right? Like this is what's happening. And the judge is like, okay. And it was actually I learned a system from going to that court process, right? Because what I did was I went in with a bunch of photos, right, of the house, right? So I was like, hey, here we go. And so I just gave them to the judge, and he's like, what's going on here? He's like, all right, let's start with room by room. Show me what room's what. Show me what's where. And I was like, all right, cool. I laid it all out, and I was like, this is a living room, this is a kitchen, this is a bedroom, this is that same like. And so he's like, that's how I want it from now on. And I was like, awesome, I can make this happen, no problems. So,
Your soft drywall probably saved them a manslaughter charge. Because if that wasn't soft,
right, right. Think about. I mean, dude, like again, I've been thrown through drywall. Like it's not just easy to get through this, right? Say, and yeah, they were so mad because we had to charge them to fix their screw up. So, or one of our mutual friends, Jeremy, right? We went in, and I talking to the lawyer. I didn't talk to the judge on that one. And I was like, yeah, so they took a baseball bat to the stove. They took a baseball bat to the refrigerator. And they're like, how do you know there's a baseball bat? And I was like, well, it's probably because of that picture right there with the baseball bat in it. And if I'm holding the baseball bat up to it, it's the exact size of the barrel that looks like it hit it. Oh, look, we have an internet famous people. So,
That reminds me when Emerson used to come into ours.
oh, absolutely. I've told her, been on YouTube many of times, so
Yes.
she's very famous. and she's so excited
Sorry,
about
that
it.
was my youngest. She pops in every once in a while.
It happens. I say, um, dude, we're Bucks and Brews. We
That's why we
have
do
fun
real
with it.
estate. It gives us free time and family time.
That's exactly it. So, but yeah, I tenants will say anything, but like, when you have a system that goes into place, right? Like I learned a lot from working for the property management company. I will say that I use Appfolio as well. But like going in and taking pre-pictures before the tenant moves in, now going through and taking after photos in case I have to go and like, hey, I have all this. Like this is before I cleaned up. This is, I never really had to go to court for myself for that type of stuff. Because I don't know. I mean, I err on either you're getting all of it back or 90% of the time you're getting nothing back, right? So, um, and then I'm not going to go to, don't say this out loud. I don't usually go to court unless it's like ridiculous $20,000 worth of damage. I'm not going to go back and get another judgment, right? Like,
Well, if they're not collectible,
right,
what's the point of even trying?
right.
And also the big thing, as far as court goes, is know your jurisdiction. Grand Rapids versus Muskegon, you could go to Grand Rapids and possibly win, depending on what you go for a security deposit claim in Muskegon. I have to tell this to owners all the time. We had a person dispute the security deposit. The owner wanted us to fight it, so we did. We went into small claims court, and the claim of the magistrate, because I didn't go before a judge, was that since I wasn't physically at the property 24/7 during the period in between when
Mhm.
they moved out and when they gave us the keys, when they said they moved out, when they moved the keys, I
Yeah.
don't know for a fact that these damages were caused by them.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Oh, 100%. So they're like, cool, give it back. So know your
Well,
jurisdiction.
listen, like, I guess that's why, like, now when we get a 30 day, I usually go in and I start taking photos, right? And then right when they tell me they have the key, like, I tell them they're responsible until I get the keys, right? And then right when I get them, I usually try to clear my entire day and I just go over there and grab photos. So that way I can prove what I have.
Yeah.
So, um, the biggest key is getting keys, right? Once they've said, "Hey, I'm gone," um, I get asked just like you, "Hey, I'm going through my eviction. What's my steps and processes? What do I do?" And I have a buddy right now who's like, "Oh, yeah, these tenants they stopped paying. I guess they might have moved out, but they're not sure. How do I figure this out?" And I was like, "Get them to say yes, we've moved everything. We're not coming back. Get them to give you keys. Once you have keys, you have possession, right? Like."
Mm-hmm.
It's just because if a tenant shows up and goes, "These are the keys," you're like, "Oh, buddy." So,
Yep.
oh,
We got
so you
sued once because we threw away their furs.
their furs?
Their furs. They had moved out.
Yeah.
They had left the place completely vacant. Utilities were gone. Let's see, utilities were out, food was out. It made all the qualifications for having moved out.
Sure.
But low income area, they had left a lot of garbage and trash. They had moved into the house right behind it. So they waited until we came in and cleaned it out. And the day after we cleaned it out, they sent us a lawsuit saying we had wrongfully evicted them and threw away all their furs
Oh,
and
great.
diamonds from the basement, furs and diamonds and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was
Which,
cheaper to pay them off than it was to go to court, obviously, because going to
how
court
many?
is going to be $3,000, $4,000. So for $1,200, yeah, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
So
I
always
mean,
get that in writing that they have moved out.
how many evictions have you done?
Oh,
Above,
um,
above or below 500?
see, 50, yeah, about, I'd say around 500 is about right now.
Yeah. I mean, because you've been in the game for as long as, I mean, you've been property managing, so it's crazy, but like, I did a crap ton. But like, what's the number one thing you see tenants grab as they're, because of course they don't move out beforehand, right? What's the
Right.
number one thing you see them grab?
The drugs.
Yep.
First, they had drugs, money, and then I mean that's about it. They'll walk out. Now, once we
Oh,
start putting everything on the street, they'll go get something and they'll grab their stuff. But
I always watch them. They walk out with their drugs, money. weapons, and anything really of value, right? Everything else is trash to them. They're just going to replace it, right? Like, because I did one, and it was like, all right, hey, you have little kids in the home, stuff like that, and all right, hey, grab what you can, grab what your kids need, grab everything, and so literally, right, the PS5 went, the whatever, their Jordans went, but all their kids' clothes stayed, and I'm like, grab like that, made my heart say, it hurts, right? It sucks, but you're just like, you've grabbed nothing for your child, right? Like, hey, boys, throw this into a bag, make sure it's whatever, because we care more than they do at times, right? And that's what sucks. So,
Well, and after doing that many evictions, the reason why landlords seem cold is when you've seen it happen so many times, and you see those patterns. I'm sure there is someone who truly got behind the eight ball. But the number of evictions, I remember the time when I finally just got mad at the tenants instead of feeling bad about it. Uh, these little kids, same age as my girls, were out on the front yard crying because they had no idea anything was happening. Their lives are over. And as we're pulling the stuff out, they had new, like brand new washer and dryer. And I knew how much it cost because I had been shopping that week to replace the washer and dryer that was 15 years old that, we've been using for the last 5 years where it doesn't turn off on itself. So you got to go down and like open it to turn the dryer off and not burn your house down. And, I'd finally saved up enough money to be able to replace that for my wife. And these people had brand new washer and dryer that still had the plastic on it.
yeah.
They had put it in that house within the last week. They hadn't paid their rent, they hadn't taken care of their kids, and they had appliances worth 3 times of what I put in my house for my family. And just yeah. And seeing that pattern happen over and over and over again, where once again, I know someone out there can show me the exception that proves the rule. Some people's, I'm sure, get behind the eight ball, but for the most part, an eviction happens in an
Choices.
affordable house. We verified that you could afford it before you moved in, and you got evicted.
Yep.
It's usually because you made a choice along the way.
Well, the tenant, I said, right, I should be sending a 10-day or a 7-day. And, I looked at my wife and I said, God, if I had $1 for every grandma that has died, I would be so fucking loaded, right? I don't know why human thinks that it's okay. Like, I get that it's probably happened, right? But I'm pretty sure in my career, I had one tenant who lost 17 grandmas, right? Like, oh, my grandma died last week. I had to help pay for the funeral. My grandma, like, let's tenant this one. Just forwarded me a text from his girlfriend because his girlfriend wrote it or whatever, right? And was like, here, this is what you can tell the landlord. Say your grandma passed away, did this. And I'm like, I feel bad for you. Do what you can. I'll work with you for the week, right? You've paid up to this point. Like, no harm, no foul, right? Like, but just know if it doesn't come through, it's game over. And that's where the 7-day comes in. Like, you've given me a date, you've given me a timeline. Here's what we're going to need to do. So, like my grandma passed. I paid for the funeral. I still paid all my bills, right? Like, everybody's going to go, because you're rich. Nope. Not at the time, right? Like, as I say, it wasn't.
And remember, it's cheaper for the landlord if they don't move out. You don't have
Right.
to do full turn. You don't have to have vacancy. You don't have to turn people out. We want people to stay. If you'll communicate and actually pay, you can stay, even if you get behind by 1 month. The people that get evicted, they're the people that didn't pay and continue to refuse to pay and got a 7-day notice. And the 7-day notice says you got 7 days to pay. At the end of the 7 days, you then have to send them to court,
Right.
which is going to take you more than 30 days to go there. Then there's at least, depending on which jurisdiction you're in, 2 more court dates. So you're talking, this is someone who has chosen not to pay for 3 months and has chosen not to move out on their own, knowing they're not paying, have not been able to have not moved out on their own. That's when an eviction happens. And during the whole process, if they showed up with the money, they can stay.
Yep.
I was asking you the other day some of these questions.
Yeah.
So I have a friend, been out of work since May on medical, living off short-term, long-term disability and their savings.
Yep.
They were late, I don't know, 5-6 days in November for the first time. It's the 5th. They're going to be late this month again. Called me, freaking out because they're never late and they're going to lose their place and they're going to be put out on the street on Friday if they don't pay.
Mhm.
And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. It takes way longer than a couple of days for somebody to get rid of you. So I started texting you. I'm like, all right, worst case scenario, how soon can they get this person out? And you're giving me advice and I'm, relaying that on. And, in that situation, not really their fault.
Right.
But I told her, I said, listen, I do a freaking podcast with a landlord. He tells me all the time, you got a problem, just give me a call. Let me know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because if you're telling me what's going on, I can work with that. But if you don't tell me, I can't help you. And I kept telling her, I'm like, first phone call you need to make tomorrow morning is to your landlord to say, this is what's up.
Yep.
This is what's going on. Because they'd rather you stay there. You've been a great tenant up until the last 2 months when you couldn't pay on time. And you still paid last month with the $50 late fee.
Yep. Oh, and as you said, like they're going to start working again here next week. So we know that, hey, a paycheck's going to be, coming.
Yeah.
But like, again, if you're getting your short-term disability and it's $300 and your rent's $1,200, pay me the $300 that month, pay me, or that week, pay me the $300 the next week. Show me you're making the effort, right? So now we have 6. Now you're getting your paycheck. Now I'm caught up, like, right?
Mhm.
And again, your first time being late, sure, I'm different, right? But $50, cool. Like, pay the $50, right? Don't sit here and complain. Oh, well, it's only been once. It's whatever. Like, you were late. Like, it doesn't matter if it's once 1,000 times, right?
Well, and what they said to me was they're like, yeah, I don't mind paying the late fee. I was late. It's my fault.
Right.
And again, that's a good way to look at it.
Oh yeah. Well, I had one tenant. I mean,
The other part to know is that depending on who their landlord is and how good their systems are, they will.
horrible.
Okay, if they're horrible systems, then they'll be fine. But for example, FHA requires that we treat everyone equal. So we have to treat everyone the same. So if someone calls and tells us what's going on and they're working with us, that's great. We are still going to send them the 7-day.
Mhm.
Yep.
Because if we don't send them a 7-day and we send someone else the 7-day and they have a different gender, race, ethnicity, religion, creed, of anyone else that you did or didn't send a 7-day to, which I guarantee you, if you are any of those things, you're different than someone else, then you can get in some massive legal trouble. So, and we warn our tenants about that is thank you for letting us know. We're going to work with you. This is a long process. You will still get a 7-day that's going to threaten to kick you out.
Yep.
Doesn't mean it's
It's
going to
like-
happen, but
Well,
you're
no,
still getting the 7-day.
Every time I send it, I'll get a message. Oh, what's this for? And it's like, look, it's to make sure that we're on the same exact page. Also, once it's paid, we can rip this up. I do not have to file it. I have the choice to file that, right? Like, so once it's paid, we rip it up. It's not a big deal. You keep to your end of the new bargain, right? Because I call it a new bargain. I say you keep your end of the new bargain, and I will keep my end, right? We'll get right back onto it next month. No harm, no foul, right? And I come across, I always try to come across looking like a superhero that I'm helping you out versus, right? Like, again, my intent, I'm too lazy. I don't want to fucking do a turn. I want you to stay forever. Like, lower your rent $10 before I freaking, have you leave forever, right? Like, I don't know. So, and that's, my system's gotten a lot better. I fault every once in a while, especially like now that I started coaching. It's like today we talked about it's the 5th, and I'm like, damn it! Like I've had so much already, like so much going on. I should send it, but I sent a text saying, "Hey, yep, cool, boom, money came in." I was like, all right, we're right on page, right? Granted, I still have to send that 7-day because I have to, but be honest, I haven't done it yet, right? So I'll go home actually after this, even though it's supposed to be my downtime with my family, and I will just go write a 7-day and get it mailed out. So tomorrow, Saturday, it's still posting, so we're good. Yeah, it's so much more to landlord than people think. Say
Yeah.
Property management, right?
Well, yeah, because and that's the other part for landlords to understand, or housing providers, or whatever words you want to call them, real estate investors, is property management is something that all landlords have to do, and they get to decide if that's what they want to do or not. If you're like Nick and you love doing this stuff, go for it. If you're not like obsessed with it, get a property manager, because if you calculate how much you're doing versus what you would pay someone to do it, until you are at the 30 to 50 doors range, you
Right.
are working for minimum wage compared to what you're paying your property manager to do this same work. Spend that time finding a new deal. Go make yourself some more money. Don't don't get involved in the nitty-gritty, and it gets you one step away from any of those FHA violations, any of the rules that you're not following. I guarantee you Nick has never sent out the required documentation that you've been denied due to credit reasons, which
Look, no, no.
which isn't going to be a problem because the chances that you get caught are low. But if you get that one tenant that knows what they're doing, I mean, those are some big fines for silly pieces of papers that you just are supposed to be sending out.
Well, saying I do a lot of pre-vetting before I even allow. I want to talk about that. Like this one thing, I just had tenants try to come view my property I've listed right now, right? And I ask a million questions beforehand, right? Like, hey, this, like, because I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste mine. And they're like, oh, everybody, like tenants, because it's been so ingrained to them. The first thing is how do I apply? My answer is you have to come view the property before you apply, right? I don't I One thing I don't do, I don't take multiple applications at once. I take one application, right? One. First one to send it in. And I'm very clear with everybody else. Hey, I have an application. If you haven't started yours, right? Don't start it. I'll let you know if it becomes available, right? Things like that. I don't want to waste your fucking money. Also, I tell people all the time, if you apply for something, I've only done it one time where I've allowed somebody to not view it and apply because they were in Colorado and they're like, "Yep, we've done this." I said, "Great, we're going to do a virtual tour so that way you can see it because you can't physically be here." And I was like, "Okay." So we did a whole virtual tour and I was like, "Do you like the house? Would you like to move forward?" Because if you don't like the house and you don't like what you see, I don't fucking it's not going to work out with us, right?
Right.
Because I'm going to get that tenant that's going to go, "Oh, I really like a door here for a bedroom." That's not, you knew it ahead of time. It wasn't going to be a bedroom. You knew this, you knew this. Like, that's not how this works in my life, right? Like, and so I, I'm very, I do a lot of work ahead of time to make sure I get a good qualified candidate right on time, right? So,
Mhm.
um, having I want to say rental stipulations. What are those called? Rental requirements, right? That's something I learned it from my mentor like right away. Hey, like I just stole his sheet and I was like, "Yep, these are my new requirements now too." Like if they're good enough for him, they're good enough for me. And yeah, like people always ask, "Oh, what do you look for on credit?" I've told you 1,000 times, like everybody has medical debt. I'm so used to it, right? Like
Mhm.
if that's the only thing that's keeping you down, that's fine, right? Everybody has medical debt. Like, and if you never pay it, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be. As long as I don't see, as long as I don't see, utilities or landlords on there, then that's kind of the basics. Like, are you covering your life that you need to cover?
Mhm.
So, um, now you had mentioned something. Okay, you actually mentioned a little bit about go spend time finding another house, doing something like that. How would I set a system up to do something like that?
I'm not as good at that part because what I did instead is I started working in property management, so I'm just always in the industry. So there's always deals floating around. But the number one thing that I would do is if you haven't already joined your local RIA, your investment group. I know you, Nick, are a big part of a Facebook group with 2,500 investors, and you do
Sir, we're
meetups.
up to like 4,700. Don't sell us
47,
short.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
4,700. So there are 4,700 people who are interested in just the Grand Rapids name area. So I don't know how big your audience is, but anywhere in the world there is a RIA or real estate investment group. Go on to meetup.com. Um, just look around and you will find them. The Real Estate Investors Associations, RIAs, are what they're usually called, but there'll be RPOAs like in Grand Rapid. There's just yeah, Bucks and Brews meetups, whatever, real estate investor meetups.
Yep.
Go to those. They're fun. It's an excuse. The whatever you buy there for food is a business expense. So it's
Right.
30% off or 15% off whatever your tax rate is, 15 to 30% off any more time you do it. So if you're going to go out that week, do it at a real estate investors conference. There will be people, you know, showing deals. There'll be people talking about what's going on. There's 101 ways to find real estate. Um, other than that, I mean, it's the stuff that people don't want to do is the stuff that works the best. So driving for dollars, no one likes doing it. But if you're really familiar with a neighborhood or an area, they tell real estate agents when you start, go knock doors in the neighborhood. Well, if you're a
Yep.
real estate investor, pick what they want you to do is pick a neighborhood and get really good at that neighborhood. Well, if you pick a neighborhood, an area, and you really know what the property values are in that area, you can go on the MLS, and because you know that area, you know that property's undervalued, you know where it is, you know what's going on. You can drive around. Driving for dollars is just looking for that house that's decrepit and trying to find out who owns it and whatnot. Uh, One of our mutual acquaintances, he gave us some great advice. I haven't put it into place yet because I'm too busy, but he's very focused in this one specific area. It's kind of out of town. So there's two or three diners.
Yep.
And he goes to the diner for breakfast. One on Monday, one on Wednesday, one on Friday, whatever. And he sits with the old guys in the diner and just talks to them. They're friendly. He said old guys gossip more than old women do. And they always know who just got divorced, who died, that kind of stuff. And he also tells them, I buy real estate. If you send me a deal, I'll buy lunch or I'll buy breakfast for you guys.
Yeah.
It's once again, it's networking. It's just finding that deal, calling real estate agents. Most real estate agents will have an investor that they can offload their things to. So find the new real estate agents. There's hundreds of them. The new people that don't have anyone. I've got a buddy who just picked up a property, a great flip, because they called their real estate agent. It had dog feces everywhere. It was smelly. It was gross. And they were embarrassed. They were going through a divorce. They weren't interested in fixing it up or cooperating. And so they just called up one person, didn't show it to anyone, and said, hey, there's no way I can list this online. I'm not going to deal with that. Called up the real estate investor, got a pocket listing, sold one day. They made, I think, 50 grand on that flip. So
Oh wow.
it's networking and it's knowing your market. After that, there's tons of stuff that you can do. You can put up mailers and you can put up bandit signs and you can send out emails and that kind of stuff. But the best thing you can do is just get in front of people.
Yeah. And now setting up a system for that, right? So I mean, would I go back into the to-do list and just say, hey, to do, I'm driving for this many hours, to do, I'm mailing out this for this long.
Yep, you have to dedicate time to it. Once again, it's that
It's what I
rarely do you hear those stories of, oh, I got into real estate and 3 months later I was a millionaire. I'm sure it happens, but that's not very common.
right.
Everyone I've ever talked to that's really dedicated to real estate makes at least $1 million in their first 10 years.
Yep.
So
I would agree. I would agree.
that's easy, but it's that dedication. So it's saying, first Monday of the month, I'm at the Mara. Second Monday of the month, I'm at Nick's thing. I'm just going to be there. You're saying, Tuesdays in the morning, it's a general schedule. I'm going to go drive around. If you have a, W-4 job, you go from your work to home every day. You got nothing to do in between there and there. Take a different route every single way. Like you're just going home, but you're just getting used to that neighborhood. Go down every single street, every possible route to your house. Doesn't have to be a huge thing, but get to know your neighborhood. Scour, I mean, Zillow has most of the information that's on the MLS. You can't see a ton of the previous data, but you can usually get a feel for what good prices are.
Yep.
And then if you're really nervous about getting into it, because these are big numbers, if you find a deal and you think it's a deal and you're not sure if you should pull the trigger on it, if you're already going to these RIAs, offer to wholesale it. If someone won't buy the deal from you, it's not a good deal. If someone will buy the deal from you, you found a good deal. And then
Lunch is here.
you don't have to, if you offer to sell it and someone's is willing to buy it, you don't have to sell it. It's just proof of concept. You're just trying to make sure that this is an actual deal.
Right.
Like I said, there's so many ways to do it. It's just doing that. It's consistently getting in the mix. I think I've got a couple of phrases that my mantras, and one is a good plan violently executed today is better than a perfect plan later. I think that's from General Patton. Uh, you don't have to know everything, but you actually have to do it. Pick the thing you're going to do and just do it constantly.
One of mine is along the same lines is, do you know what the difference between a dream and success is?
Work.
Action, right? Like that's plain and simple, right? It's action. If you want something, go do something. I want tattoos, but I'll never get them. But right, like I always want to have. If you want something better in life, do something about it. And like to me, that's just so huge, right? Like go do something. I got into real estate not knowing a dang thing. Like, and I didn't know anything. And now, I mean, now I teach people so much, right? Like, I'm too dumb to do anything else. So, like, if I can learn it, anybody else can do this thing, right? Um, you know,
The more the more you deal with successful people, highly successful people, and as a property manager, I'm dealing with people who have hundreds of properties. They are not special. They're, if you have some mental block thinking you're not smart enough or not good enough or dedicated enough or lucky enough, some of these people are frustratingly low on the intelligence level.
Mhm.
Like, just do it. Go to these real estate investor meetups and you'll meet people. And I mean, some of the most inspiring people are super successful people where you're like, if he can do it, I can do it.
You had mentioned you're dabbling in AI. What are you doing? You kind of mentioned that you're setting up a system for AI for um a hard money lending, which
Yep.
I mean I do hard money lending myself. And you're right, there is no system. Granted, if there was, I still probably wouldn't own it or use it. But that defeats
Well,
the
I'm
purpose
gonna
of it.
make you one of my beta users, so you can tell me why it sucks.
Oh, I'm gonna love this.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please do.
How do you pay your mortgages?
In cash, in person. Yeah. I go to the bank every month and hi Nick.
How old are you?
37.
You're like the oldest young person I know.
Mhm. But I love being able to hold somebody accountable, right? My first mortgage payment when Chase bought my mortgages, I think it was a second actually. First one went fine, second one. I'm sitting with my family and I get a notification email. It's like, hey, you missed a payment. Fuck, I missed a payment. I was like, I went in there. And then I call up and they're like, yeah, okay. So it looks like, because I have 7 mortgages with them or something like that. And so I called them up and I was like, what are you talking about? Like I paid them all. Like I'll try to find my receipt. And they're like, well, okay, so like property 221, you paid $1,400 on, and property, 112, you paid nothing on. I was like, property 221 is only supposed to be 700, and this one, oh, it looks like they took the 700 and just put it all into one, or the 1,400 put it all into one. They should have split it. And like, I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and fix that, right? And I was like, this isn't going to affect my credit. This isn't going to affect. And they're like, no. I was like, I don't want to hit. I don't want it. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. It's taken care of. And I was like, but I got my receipt, and I was like, I have the receipt. Like, here's the proof of what happened, right? Like, and so that's why I do that type of stuff. Granted, I do have a couple that I have to do online because there's no bank for them or whatever, right? Probably could find a way, but they have a nice working website slash app, whatever. All my stuff's auto information. Click, click, boom. It's it's kind of nice. So
Tangent time.
tangent time.
We were talking about old people and less than intelligent people, right?
Yeah.
Ring ring. My mother is very intelligent, mind you. She graduated with better grades than I did. Gary, you're gonna love this story. So I get home from this sale that we didn't sell much at, and all I want to do is watch the Bears game.
Yeah.
I'm a Bears fan. I want to watch the Bears game. Leave me alone. I sent her a text, I don't know, 10 minutes after the game starts. Hey, this is all we made. She's like, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. I thought you guys would do better. I'll get a hold of you when I'm done talking to Microsoft. And I went, excuse me? So I call her. I'm like, what the fuck you mean talking to Microsoft? Well, I had a pop-up on my computer and I couldn't do anything. And I had a number, so I called it. And it's Microsoft. I said, that's not Microsoft. I'm going to make this long story shorter. We argued for 10 minutes about it being Microsoft. I made 2 phone calls to the 2 numbers that she called because the first number wasn't good enough. They told her, you need to call this secondary number because our line is not secure enough. So I get off with the first person. I say, that's still not Microsoft. And she doesn't believe me because I'm just a fucking idiot. So I call the second number. They don't answer. I click back to her and I tell her again, this is not fucking Microsoft. Nope, it is. You're wrong. Fine. They call me back. You want to know what convinced her that it was not Microsoft? While I'm screaming at this fucking idiot, he replies to me, fuck your cunt mouth. And then I really let him have it. And he hung up on me because he was so frustrated at me screaming at him. And I clicked over to my mom. I said, I just want you to know, Microsoft just told me, fuck my cunt mouth. You still think it's Microsoft? And she goes, well, I guess that might not be Microsoft.
Oh, yeah.
It took all of that to convince her that I'm not a fucking moron.
Yeah. Let's say it.
For anybody listening out there, take your computers away from your older relatives. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. Well, psychologically speaking, it's less painful to be robbed than it is to admit that you didn't know what you were doing. And that's what, so she wasn't fighting that you're smart. She was fighting the concept that she got bamboozled. She would rather.
And I understand that, but see, I come from a different mindset. When I'm fucking wrong, I want to learn how to be right.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I hate being wrong. So if I'm not intelligent about something, I need to be, I read on it and I figure it the fuck out. Like I have fallen for scams before too, but it lasts for like 45 seconds and I go, oh, that was fucking stupid. I'm changing everything right fucking now. You're out.
No. Well, I'm horrible at technology. Like I told you, I'd take care of the link. And so like I spent way too long yesterday. I scrolled through our messages. I was like, I'll find, he sent it to me, but it's 2 guys. So I was like, oh, we sent one to the other guys. And I tried scrolling through that. We just had Brooke on not too long ago.
Yeah, I'm going to show you how to do this.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
We had Brooke on not too long ago. I was like, oh, I sent her a link. So I go through our text. I'm like, oh, I don't see it in there. I was like, maybe I hit her up on Facebook. I'm trying to find the Zoom link that I sent her. And I'm like, all right, I'm just about done with this. Oh, nice. And I was like, this is frustrating. I was like, I just need to send out a link. So I just hit up David and I was like, dude, send me the Zoom link. 22 seconds later, it's there. I copied it, put it over to you, said that. I completely forgot to follow up saying, hey, I put it in your Facebook because I didn't want to text it out or whatever. Because it was also late at night. I was watching Lions game or whatever. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm horrible with technology.
Well, I said, you can search and you're like, yeah, I was searching for like 20 minutes and I couldn't do it anymore. I'm like, all right, that's fair.
Yeah. Like I just got to the frustration. And like,
I treat you like my mother when it comes to technology.
oh yeah, dude.
Because she's told me for days now, Gary, it took her up until yesterday to change 99% of her passwords up until yesterday because she's so busy taking a bath or something. I don't fucking, she cleaned the toilet one day.
Right.
And that took the whole fucking day. So I helped her change one of her passwords for one of her emails yesterday because she just couldn't fucking figure it out. And I will be honest, it took me more than 2 minutes to figure it out because they have it hidden. I don't know why. But I treat you like I treat her when it comes to technology because neither one of you know how to do a fucking thing. Just give it to me. Get out of the way. Just go.
Yep. It's I'm not great. But that's what makes me successful is being able to make aware that I'm not good at something. You're wanting to learn everything. Me, on the other hand, I don't need to learn everything. I need to know somebody that is willing to give me the time that knows it, right? So like, hey, how do I do this? I just need an answer. I don't want to be if we have some time, like right now, sure. Okay, you show me. I will try to remember to type in Zoom, but like at the end of the day, I know you know how to do it. Great. Like I will tell you I made an effort. I did. I made stupid how much effort I put into it. Like when I could have just typed in Zoom. And but like no, right? If I have something, I know somebody knows something. I mean, I'll call Gary on stupid. Hey, what do you think about this? What do you got about this? How do you know how to do this? Right? That's why we have Bucks and Brews. I'll interview a million people and figure out, hey, how do you do this? Because
you and I are ignorant on things.
Oh yeah,
and we're okay with that.
Oh yeah.
But if we're going to talk about something on this show, and we're ignorant on it, what do?
Ask questions,
or look things up.
Look it up beforehand,
or watch a YouTube video or two that isn't a crazy one. We figure it out. So there are plenty of things that I don't want to know how to fix plumbing. I mean, I probably should, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
No.
So what do? I call Nick and I go, Nick, who's your plumber? And he goes, here, call this guy, Keith.
Yeah.
whose name is long and you can't fucking pronounce. And then I call Keith and he comes over and he takes care of all my plumbing shit and I don't have to worry about it because I'm ignorant.
Yep. And right, like, and it's funny because I've built things for you, right? And just like, yeah, I can do this, like, no problem. But like, to me, it's back and forth. Like, I'll build it for you. I'll swing a hammer all day. I know how to do that. Here, work on my phone. Right? Like, why?
The keychains I modeled the other day, I could show you how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think you would remember. It's more frustrating for you to do it. I'll just send you the file.
Actually, I just got hired to do. I like making custom things. It just takes me forever.
Right.
So I might have you help me with it for fun. But somebody needs a custom thing for 3D printing. I love doing that.
Yeah.
But so back to Gary. Sorry. I say we go tangent time all the time.
We do a lot
Oh,
of
no
tangents.
worries. I was just gonna say, if you like that theory, there's a really good book, Who Not How. And it's
Okay.
all about the idea of leveraging people, find the people who are good at the thing that they are good at and use them. Don't try and don't try and do everything. Leverage people just like you would money.
And so I don't really read books. I've been trying very hard to get into it. I just read.
Audiobooks. It
I just
counts.
listen. I just listened to one. Start with Why. I hated it for a while, and then the end, I actually really kind of enjoyed it. I tried starting the next one in the series of like Find Your Why. Couldn't get through it. Just whatever. It ended up getting returned because that's how much I didn't listen to it. But like what I find, and okay, so like Who Not How.
Mhm.
It sounds great for somebody who's not me. Like when I read, I wanna get information of stuff I don't know. Right? I already told you, like, I'm really good at doing that. That's what I do already. So like all I'm gonna be doing is reaffirm that what I'm doing is right from the sounds of what you just said. So it's like
Yeah.
okay, so we talk about this. I read a book. You mentioned Robert Kiyosaki earlier, right? So Rich Dad Poor Dad was on every fucking podcast. All of a sudden, it is name dropped more than anything. Rich Dad Poor Dad. So finally, after years, I grabbed this stupid book, and I'm like, this has changed so many lives. This is going to be great. So I literally stopped my life. It took me 2 days to read this thing, right? Like, I'm not a fast reader. I'm not whatever. And so, like, if I had time, I read this thing, and I was so mad when I was done with it. Because I was like, yeah, this is fucking common sense. Like, I already do this. Like, this is stupid. Why did how did this change people's lives? Like, what are you talking about? But it's because I'm not at that part. Like, I already understood the concept of business. I already understood how this worked. And so I was like,
Yeah, but everybody that told you to read it didn't.
right. And so everybody that changed their life, like everybody that, like, 'cause I felt like everybody had these epiphanies of like this, and I thought it was the greatest thing. And I was like, no. So my goal to myself is to teach myself things that I either struggle with or right and need better at. So, yeah, that's kind of where I look at books at this moment because I'm really trying hard to listen to more books because again, you go back to this thing and everybody will tell you, right? Like there's statistics for a reason, right? The average millionaire reads X amount of books per year. I don't remember. Is it 12? Is it 40? I don't remember. But like it's like they're reading. Sure, I'm already at that, but like the average, billionaire reads this, and it's like, okay, so if I want to be the average of them, how do I become that, right? That's another tip, right? Like if you want what others have in life, you have to do what others do, right? So if you want to do that, like if you want to be in debt, if you want to own all these fun things, be in debt. That's how everybody owns everything. But if you want to be a millionaire, do what other millionaires do, right? Oh, well, they all have really good jobs. Fuck no, the most money I made in my fucking life, $55,000 in one job, right? Like, no, it's not true. I didn't make great money. I was making average. To me, that was good money, right? It wasn't great because now that I've had other sources of income, but like, it was okay, right? Like, we lived our life like normal people. We did fine, but still blows my mind how people afford fucking brand new cars. It blows my mind.
You know how they afford them.
Yeah, in debt.
Yeah, that's just. I mean, there were stories that have come out recently going, nobody has any money; they just have debt.
Right. And they're making their payment.
I mean, how do you get a house nowadays? You get a 50-year loan.
Soon to be.
Fuck
Soon to
that.
be 50 years, baby. So, and
Fuck
you can
that.
save $2 whole $100, but you'll be able to pay it for another 20 years.
But you'll be able to afford it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Probably not.
Now you have to the way I look at that is now you have to maintain that same job for 50 years versus 30. Right?
And who does that?
Same job or better? Nobody.
Let's say you get hired at 22. 50 years is 72.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
My house will be paid off before I'm 55.
Yep. So, and that's just it. Now, sorry. So back to AI. Sorry. So what do you? Because David's not a huge AI guy. I love AI because I don't know. I just ask it stupid stuff.
I use it when it's necessary.
It just gives me the things I need. So, I had a fight with my wife I didn't even have a fight. I don't want to say a fight. It was actually a good discussion about something. And so I typed it into Google, like the exact words that we had put out there or whatever. And I was like, what is this called? And it came back and she's like, no, that's not being this. And I was like, that's what Google says. Hold on. Like, I can put the exact same thing into AI, see what it's called. And, but yeah, it's just frustrating because it's like, all right, you're telling me that the world is wrong, even though here's the answer that was given for what we put in for details. And you and I both agreed upon these details. So, yeah, AI is going to help me win some fights. I'm going to win one, but yeah. So tell me what you got for it.
For AI is disrupting the economy in the same way that the Excel and Word did when Microsoft first came out with the Office suite. So there's a lot of the middle management repetitive task work that's getting removed. So anything, if it's literally the same type of people that are getting hit with the AI stuff, but anything that you could think of as like a factory type position, but that uses brain power instead of brawn, is what AI is currently good at replacing. So photo editing. Now you can completely edit photos better than Photoshop could have ever done, and it takes 30 seconds type thing.
Yep.
It's just you're because they're doing the exact same thing on every single photo over and over again. Same thing for writing. Or if you're reviewing a bunch of deals, if you have a whole bunch of numbers in a place, you can have the AI go through and look at the numbers and look for inconsistencies or things to find that, yes, you could find yourself. You can't use the AI to think, currently at least, you can't use the AI to think smarter than you, but what you can do is have the AI do the busy work. One of the things that they've gotten really good at is programming. So you can, if you've ever had I wish I had a little widget that just did this, or I wish I had something that could just do that, you can probably have AI program it and have it completely programmed by AI. It's a new term called vibe coding, where you are not doing any of the physical labor of writing the code. You are describing the systems. You still have to be smart enough to figure out what the system is, all the edge cases, what you want it to do, what you don't want it to do, what it's supposed to look like. You have to describe that to it, and you have to curtail it, because the AI isn't actually smart. It's just taking what you gave it, looking at trillions of lines of code that it's already seen and said, well, of the 3 million people that wanted the exact same thing that you wanted, because you're not special snowflake and this has already been done 50 times, here's the code.
Right.
And shoves it in there, that type of stuff. So what I've been using AI to do is, one, actually program a hard money lending platform that will do all of the back end pieces. It'll track the payments. It will let you send out payoff. Because they always say, okay, well, what's the payoff on this date? And the lender always wants to know what the payoffs are. Well, this automatically
takes 24 hours to get out.
Right. And now it's a click of a button, and it will email it to them and say, hey, this payout is good until this date. And here's the daily amount to increase if you go past that date. And that amount is good until this date. If you need it past this date, contact us again. That type of stuff. So it's just that repetitive stuff that it can do. I have been, as far as photo editing, there's an AI Opus clip I think I've been using lately. I'm going to do it to this podcast because you guys are going to push this on YouTube. and then I'm going to go onto YouTube and I'm going to take your video, and it will, within 5 minutes, go through this entire conversation and come up with 1 to 2 minute clips that it thinks are the most interesting. It will add video, little B-roll cut scenes into it. It'll add the terminology, or the not the terminology,
Caption.
subtitles. It'll do subtitles
Yeah.
and everything. It'll set that all up, and then it'll create these little viral clips, and then it will post it for you. You go in and put which days you want it posted. So at that point, you can spend 10 minutes going on, taking a podcast that you've been on, turning it into tons of clips, and then it will hashtag it. It will create the comments about what you're saying, and it will post it for you. And it takes 10 minutes of work. So you've already done the work of having this podcast. What used to be, let's pay a guy $1,000 to find some viral clips and advertise us. Every single one of these podcasts, you can go back to your 20 favorite podcasts that you thought you were really vibing really well with people, and funny stories, and it will go through and find those stories for you. You don't have to do anything.
What was that called again?
That one's called Opus Clip.
OPIS?
OPUS Clip, and they're working on one where they're going to be able to create actual videos and stuff for you too. Just write what you want the video to be, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
They're getting better and better every day.
Yeah.
What else are we doing with AI?
You've been asking for that forever.
Oh yeah. It's because I mean, it's something you and I don't have the time for.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for but like, we
Just try to get your niece to do that for us.
right, exactly. I said we were willing to pay and do whatever, but like we have kids episodes because we know that kids can't pay attention for longer than 10 minutes at a time, right? Like, and so but yeah, to like get it, and we do tangent time all the time. You've been on here, you're like, oh yeah. So it's
I got another one for us, just so you know.
yeah. But like, sorry, you were saying with with photos. I just had to have something embroidered, and they're like, oh, so I took a photo of my old thing that I needed, and I sent a photo, and they're like, oh, we have to get this, and so I walk in, and they're like, oh, we're having a hard time finding somebody that can do a vector or whatever, and I was like, seriously? I was like, a Fiverr will get you 20 seconds, but like, also, I was like, I can probably do it for you, right? And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, I own a graphics company. I just don't do embroidery, right? So I literally went and I took my photo, put it into AI, and said, hey, make this a vector photo. It flattens it out, does whatever. A vector photo is only something a vector is an image that is saved in a correct file, right? So I do it in SVG. So I went into my program, did it. It puts the million of fucking dots that it needs. I literally just go save, send it off in an email, and said, all right, hey, I called them and I was like, hey, you now have a vector. You're welcome. Right? Like, I was like, don't tell me you don't have the tools to do whatever. I'll make whatever work. Right? Like, it's
Yep.
amazing how many mountains I move on a daily basis.
Any of that stuff that you used to have to pay someone to do a lot of processing work, where it was just where they're doing the same thing, all of that's being replaced. If you got a laptop right there, if you got a screensaver and you want a specific screensaver or a background,
Yep.
before you'd have to go around and hope someone else had spent hours and hours creating a background that you like. Now you can go into AI and describe the kind of scene, what you want, the type of colors you want to use, and it'll generate like 10 different options, and it'll be exactly what you want. Reports. I actually do some monthly reports. I feed it all of my data, my KPIs and stuff for the last year, and I say, hey, run me a report. And then there
Okay.
are some people where when you are working with AI, you can, a new session, so you have to create a new session in between each of these. In a new session, you can assign it different roles that you want it to take. Because if you just start chatting with it, it'll agree with anything you say.
Okay.
But instead, if you say, hey, AI, I want you to act as a marriage counselor. And as a marriage counselor, if I said this and this to my wife, what is this is this healthy? And then they'll critique you and not base this off of the gigabytes of data that they have of Reddit people complaining about their wives. It'll base it off of the American Psychological Association, what they say and how you should communicate. If you want to know about real estate, that kind of stuff. So you can give it a role to play and then chat with it. So if you are thinking about getting into real estate or getting into doing a business or doing a deal, you could say, hey, I want you to act as a financial advisor or a financial analyst, and I want you to criticize and look for holes in my plan. Here is the plan that I've come up with. Here's the data I have. What am I missing? And then it becomes an argumentative partner where, at your office or wherever you might not have people that are able to disagree with you because you're the boss, or you might not be able to find someone who cares at all about the subject you're debating. Whatever it is, you can throw the AI into a role because, I mean, you talked about how older people get hoodwinked and how we don't know everything. My biggest fear is, what do I not know that I don't know? Because there are things where I'm so ignorant that I don't even know I'm missing the information. And that's where you can really get blindsided.
Right. Well, and I mean, I'm still learning AI and what to do because we talked about that image that I did earlier. Like I asked it to do one, it gave me a very clear photo. I was so happy that it saved it because then I asked because it went away because I went to a different tab or something on my phone, and then I went back to it and I was like, oh, I have to recreate this image, and then it kept doing it. It just edited the photo. It didn't make it the flat surface that I wanted, right? Even though I
Mhm.
asked the exact same question, I was like, no, I don't want it to have the wrinkle in it, right? I want it to be the flat photo. And so, um, yeah, like keep working with it, it keeps improving every single day. But
Oh,
there's
another
so
one that you guys could use, uh, photo shoots, marketing material.
yeah.
There are AIs that you can feed, 20 images of both of you into it, and then you can prompt the AI, I want a photo shoot. And you can do all these cool podcasty looking photo shoots, or you can say, I want it to look like we're speaking in front of a big crowd, and it will create images of you guys doing those things. It'll do it super quick. So you can create all your marketing material without having to go and actually go to the beach and take those beach photos with the photographer and the equipment and everything. Um,
Hmm,
yeah,
that's
it
crazy.
it allows you to do everything that you've wanted to do that isn't physical. You can do quickly and cheaply now.
Sure. And I know there's a few free AIs. Are there, I mean, is there stuff you pay for as well? And do you get better quality when you pay for it?
Um, I pay for some coding enhancements, and then the only AI I'm paying, well, Opus Clip I pay for because it does it all for me. Like you can go and get it, you can do one or two of them for free, but I liked it enough, and then they'll do all the posting for you if you pay for it, but it's cheap. The um, I pay for ChatGTP's $20 a month subscription just to get access to all their extras.
What,
But
sorry, what does that include? I guess extra. I didn't know ChatGTP had a paid subscription. I've only used it for free, so.
yeah, so they've got a paid prescription. It runs a little bit faster. You don't have any caps, and then it gives you access to their coding and a couple other tools. So it's nothing that the average person needs, but the more and more you use it, uh,
Yeah.
the better. Yeah, the more
Hmm.
likely you are going to be paying it. So for coding, like I said, I'm heavily coding. I've done what would have cost me $50,000 to do in the last 3 months for $400
Oh, wow.
in coding.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, webs, but that's what technology was supposed to double in size or, double in space, right? And when it comes to, let's go with RAM, right? So if you got
Mhm.
8 was supposed to come out and 4 was supposed to become half price, right? 8 comes out to 16, then the 4 was supposed to be half that price, and then 8 was going to be half of its originally price, right? And so then next thing you know, 4 was going to be obsolete, by the time you're up to the next one. So every 2 years, technology is supposed to double and cut price in half. And AI basically cut price into nothing so far, right? I mean, there's some paid little bit, but it's made technology just so much far more advanced, right? I mean,
We are in an AI bubble right now. All the big tech companies know that AI is the future. Whoever wins is going to be around, and whoever doesn't is going to not exist. So if you look at the amount of money being pumped, we are in a recession right now, like a pretty decent recession. And the only reason we're not feeling it is because there's a giant AI bubble going on. I'm pretty sure that'll pop at some point, but they're all racing towards general intelligence. Basically, once the AI is smart enough to improve itself and it's a singularity event where it just speeds off and gets super crazy good, at which point no one has any idea what will happen at that point. Like, we don't know. We're just hoping that we're the ones in control when it does.
Skynet will become aware and we'll all be killed by Terminators.
I mean,
not a tumor.
yeah, Skynet or Cortana or whatever AI you want to say, like, we're just hoping we're in the driver's seat when it happens. Yeah. But yeah, that's what's going on. It's amazing. They come out with new models constantly, like every couple months. The stuff that they couldn't do 6 months ago is easy now. The stuff that looked horrible a few months ago is just looks amazing, and it's just getting better and better. Now, unfortunately, that's going to make Nick's way of doing things much more popular. I don't know about it, unfortunately. It's going to get to my personal opinion, but it's going to get to the point where it'll be so easy to fake things that people are going to insist on face-to-face meetings to verify that we're people, this is real. Or I think that'll actually help, because after COVID, I mean, people got pretty separated, but I can see in the next few years there being a much bigger emphasis on in-person communication, because everything else can be so manipulated at this point.
David, anything else?
No, I think this was a great conversation.
Gary, anything in life, what is the best piece of advice you can give to any person out there?
Best piece of advice? Surround yourself with good friends that are better than you, and don't wait till you know everything. Just learn by doing.
I like that.
I actually do have something else.
Yeah.
So you sent me a text the other day.
I did.
That meant a lot.
Good.
Because in all honesty, I kind of felt, really shitty with the fact that Mike and Dawn were kind of down on the fact that, it's a joke that I'm not going to drink for a while. And you were everything I expected you to be at a time when I didn't expect you to send something.
Yeah, just say try to do it when it's unexpected. Because
yeah, it was
expected. It's not fun.
It was very helpful, and I want to thank you for that as a friend.
Yeah, of course. I want to give a shout out to Frank and Muth Brewing Christmas Town Ale. It's better in a bottle. The can was all right. Also, it was like, okay, so I don't mind room temperature beer.
Yeah.
I like cold beer as well.
Yeah.
But like that middle 1 hour ground,
yeah,
just not enough.
Not as good.
It was like the flavors are like trying to do two things, and I was like, all right, we have another one in there.
Yep. We'll be saving that for you.
I'll give it another good shot when it's nice and cold and see if I like it okay in the can. But my bottles so far wins the thing. I like bottles better though. So Gary, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate this. Hopefully we'll have you on again once we learn some tools and figure out if we can put this to use and make you come back for another episode. So again, thanks so much.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining. Nick and I are going to try to do this again next week. We're getting pretty good with the weekly thing lately, so I don't know how much that's going to happen come spring.
Gary, stay with us for 2 seconds, and we'll get you out of here.
All right, thanks for joining, everybody. We'll talk to you again very soon.
You've dialed in
To Box and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these
because
studs.
they know the
And
brews.
they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, cause shit's not funny.
Save yourself some
Beer money, bucks,
and brews.
Bucks and
bucks.
and brews.
Brews.
Bucks and Brews.